right, so now I'm going. Okay, so some time has elapsed, not a lot, but I did that for
Probably about 20 minutes, yeah.
Probably about 20 minutes. I did that for 2 reasons. First off, I had most of a wheelbarrow full of cement.
Yeah.
And if I didn't deal with it, I was going to have a giant cement block stuck in my wheelbarrow with all my mud tools.
Right.
So I had to go use that up. And also, it's easier to wash this up when it dries a little bit.
Just a little bit.
So basically, I'm cleaning up the mess that I made on the floor and stuff first because, yeah.
You didn't make a mess on the floor.
Because I know what's going to happen with this as I go to do this. As I wipe it off, I'm going to get it on something else, or I'm going to get it out of the cement, and then I'm going to have to do it again.
So it's just soapy water and a sponge, right?
It's soapy water and a cheap-ass sponge.
With a scraper side.
I'm using the scraper side because it works better on stuff like the wood. I won't use the scraper side on the
paint.
wall because it'll take... Because once you add the cement, it's like sandpaper.
Right, it'll take the paint off.
And it'll take the paint off. So you can see it's coming right off the wood, which is good. Alright, so we got it off the wood. The wall's a lot harder. The wall's the hard part. So I'll get that. I'll do this first because it's the easy part.
Of course.
And it's the part that makes it the most different. This is actually really easy to clean up. Because it's plastic. It's not a good sink.
Well, even if
when I was taking the sink out, why didn't I replace it with a really good sink? Because I tried to. I have a steel one, and I brought it in here and realized it wouldn't fit in the hole.
There you go.
And I sure as hell ain't buying anything. If it cost a nickel to shit right now, I'd have to vomit. Thank you, Trumplicans. Yeah, I cannot tell you. Maybe some of you feeling this way. Maybe others are going, oh, blah, blah. They're giving us mixed information. I don't know who the people that are saying we're getting mixed information are listening to, but it seems to me like what they think is misinformation is them interpreting it to be do what I want to do. They said we could do what we wanted to do after we... No, they said fully vaccinated people were safe to be together without masks. And they said that before the Delta variant got here.
Yes.
This is what you're dealing with. This is a new disease. Nobody knows what it's going to do.
That's why it's called a novel virus.
That's why it was called a novel virus. Okay, so I've got to kind of get that off without messing up my cement.
So you're pushing down instead of scraping
I'm
across.
kind of pushing it. Well, first off, scraping, not good.
No.
So I'm just kind of pushing down on the edges.
See.
Yeah.
And it does clean right up.
And because it's drier than it would have been 20 minutes ago, it's doing a really good job.
Yeah.
And what I can do is if I get most of it off, when it's completely dry, the cement's completely dry, I can come in and just wash it.
Well, this is true because the cement will just come off.
Because if you get most of it, if you leave too much of it, it will not come off.
Okay.
So if you leave a little smidging, like how it's...
I see there is
some little gray marks up the wall, those will come right off. But the heavy stuff will not.
Okay. Oh, okay. So that's why you're not scrubbing, because you can literally come scrub later.
I can literally come scrub it off later. And one of the nicest things about this particular thing is a lot of times when you're doing something like this, like with paint or tile, you don't really know what it's going to look like until it dries.
Right.
But the cement, when I get done doing this, it's going to look exactly the same after I put the sealer on it.
Yeah.
Because the sealer makes it look wet again.
Yeah.
As you could tell from the kitchen and the other bathroom.
Right.
But see, that just
comes right up.
You just push it right down. And that's the easiest way to do it without making a wall-eyed mess. So.
Wow, that is awesome.
And, okay, so so I'm going to have a permanent cabinet that it's going to be damn hard for renters to tear up.
This is true.
Because when you have a hotel or a bed and breakfast, you're basically dealing with people that are renting. And they all have different ideas about what's clean and what's okay to do to stuff surfaces and what's not. And so what happens is, this kind of surface, you got kids, you got old people that spill stuff, this is gonna last forever. You can walk
We
on
had
it.
some people who came in and made a wall-eyed mess who dyed their hair, obviously, and did all kinds of other
Yes,
stuff.
in the other bathroom.
In the other
And when I
bathroom,
first
thank
saw
God.
it, oh my God, I was like, thank God it was sealed.
Yes, no kidding. No kidding. And thank God it wasn't in
Okay,
here.
and look how easy that was. Yeah, thank God they didn't do it in here. Although it wouldn't have mattered because
'Cause
this
we're
is
gonna-
all being redone anyway.
Yeah.
See? Oh, that was difficult. Not at
And
all.
anything that goes in the sink goes down the drain.
Yeah, exactly. And see where I got this little roughness going on here?
Yeah.
I go like this.
Oh my goodness, it went away.
Yeah, I go like this. Literally just take my wet finger and poke it back into place.
And rinse it off immediately, because that
And,
stuff will
yeah,
burn.
because it will burn you. And a little bit on there again, a little bit on the sink edge, not going to matter. It'll come off, but if you leave too much of it, it ain't coming off.
Okay. Well, okay. That makes sense, because it's just going to be concrete dust by the time it's dry.
Yes, when it dries, it's just dust. But if you left great big chunks of it, especially if the great big chunks are actually attached to your surface, that ain't coming off. And see, I can just literally just make that right along the edge and just make it as round as I need to make it. Now, when I did the kitchen sink, I made an edge out of metal poured to that, and the kitchen sink's actually setting on top of the concrete countertop, because that's what you need to have for a kitchen. But this one, this is actually better, because before we had this lip on the sink, which kept stuff from running back into the sink.
Right.
Now, if they spill on 90% of the surface of this, guess what? It runs back into the sink.
Yep. Oops.
I did that on purpose,
Of course.
just to show you how you can clean it up later. There we go. Okay. And now I'll just wipe the sink out a little bit. Mix that as a little bit of,
And leave it alone.
and leave it alone. And that's exactly what it'll look like when it's dry.
That's cool.
Because it'll dry out, it won't look like this. But then, when it's completely dry and cure, I will put the
We might actually do a little video about
I will
bark.
put the sealer on, and then after, well, you gotta wait 30 days to put the sealer
Well,
on.
I know, that's what I'm saying. We can do a video 30 days from now about putting the sealer
Okay.
on.
But anyway, you just paint the sealer. Okay, so what I was going to tell you is, how cheap is this? Bag of concrete, even now, costs like $3.50. I not only did this countertop, but I did a bunch of work outside as well. And see, now my sink's all clean.
Yes.
So $3.50. The most expensive part is the sealer. I bought a gallon of sealer. The gallon of sealer that I bought cost me $30. But I still have over half of it, and I double sealed the kitchen cabinets because I always double seal. Why not? Because the first coat soaks in, but the second coat it doesn't take much at all, and you're just getting that much more protection. And I think it's like you have to wait 7 hours between the first and second coat. At any rate, so I double coated everything you saw, the shower floor, the step in the bathroom, all the countertops in the kitchen. I still have a half a gallon left.
Okay.
This is going to take hardly anything. But if you look at the price of cabinets
Yes.
and cabinet tops, it's a lot easier, and you have something unique. I mean, if you want to do something, you could put anything that'll be in concrete, you could put in there. You could put tile, you can bust some tiles up and put them in the corner, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to just end with something. Like I said, I'm super pissed off that, once again, I have to name these how I spent the next apocalypse. Because there's no excuse for this. The same people that drove all the crap that we've been dealing with for the last 4.5 years are still driving this. they're still destroying our lives. The Q-Trumplicans have completely driven this virus because they're a little, let's not wear a mask, don't get a vaccine, brought it all back again. We were this close to having our lives back, and these people snatched it away from us. Don't give them any excuse. There's no excuse. I bet they have a measles vaccine. I bet they got a mumps vaccine. If they're old enough, they got a smallpox vaccine and a polio vaccine and every other vaccine. But they politicized the virus, they politicized masks, they politicized the vaccine, and now it's blowing up. And who's getting sick? They are.
Yeah.
And are they coming forward and saying, oh my God, please go get a vaccine? No. When their loved ones die, they're saying they died of a stroke. Not a stroke caused by COVID. A stroke. Oh, they died of cancer. Yes, they were fighting cancer, but they got COVID and they died. It's ridiculous and uncalled for. And we need to hold them accountable for what they're doing by not voting for their monkeys again.
Amen.
Thank you. And make something beautiful that costs nothing.
There you go.